Alright guys, this week's tip of the week is going to be mostly, I don't know how well I'm in camera view, I'm trying to do this by myself. Mostly for compound hunters. I'm going to go over a few tips on proper form and structure. I'm not going to cover it all, because you can go on for days. Just a few key things, and one thing when you're shooting out of a stand to try to remember to do. I'm just using and it's actually just a broken arrow. Turns out if you shoot a 3D target in the front leg, they got a steel pole there in that front leg. Shot a 3D target too far forward this year and broke the tip of the arrow. But first and foremost, I wanted to talk about this front hand. You don't want to grip it real tight, and you don't want to push it open. See, some guys they pull back and they're forcing their hand open, or they're gripping it real tight. You just want to let that hand relax. You want no muscle tightness at all. One thing you got to try to remember with shooting a bow, you want all your muscles to be as relaxed as possible. If you don't, your muscles aren't always the same tenseness all the time. And your shoulder muscles are a little more tense, and you're pushing that front hand open. Your hand muscles are flexing different every time, which is flexing different on your handle here, and it's all going to tweak the bow a little bit one way or the other. And just a hair off in your hand, a hair off in your shoulder, your back arm, your wrist, your string to the corner of the mouth, string to the nose, just a little bit off on everything can make a shot go real bad. What you want to do, what I do, it seems to work pretty well. You want this front hand completely relaxed. You want your back arm, your shoulders, everything completely relaxed. If you can't shoot 70 pounds, don't shoot 70 pounds. You don't need 70 pounds to shoot a deer. You can kill a deer. The legal limit is, I think, 40 pounds. You can kill a deer. You don't need a lot of power to kill a deer. So if you can't shoot 70, shoot 60, shoot 55. Shoot what you're comfortable with, not the max you can pull. And just bring that back. Put this corner of the string. Put this string right in the corner of your mouth, right there, and touch your nose, just the tip of your nose to the string, and line your peep up. This hand's relaxed, this back arm's relaxed, everything's relaxed. You're not trying to pull that bow and hold the bow back. Once that bow drops back, it drops over that wall, you get that let off, you should be able to hold that all day with no problems. So, everything relaxed is number one, and make sure you don't force that front hand or squeeze. And at the shot, I see a lot of guys at the shot, they'll squeeze and they'll close that front hand. You don't want to do that either, because every time you do that, it's just like same thing with this. You want to squeeze this just like a gun. Squeeze or release just like a gun, just barely, just squeeze it nice and slow. You don't want to know when that shot's going to go off. Don't pull that release. Squeeze it nice and slow, just like a gun. And don't try to grab that bow. That's why you got this wrist strap here. That bow, when you pull, just let that bow go. Don't try to jerk it. Or every time when you close that hand, you're jerking the bow and you're throwing your shot off. Another thing is out of the tree stand. When you're practicing target shooting, you got your body. Your arm's pretty much 90 degrees coming away from your chest. You're coming up and out. Pretty much a 90-degree angle here. Now, when you're up in the stand, a lot of guys, you'll pull back, where you've been practicing shooting like this. Now when you got a deer, you drop that arm like this. You just changed all your structure. Your whole structure form just went from being 90 degrees and parallel with each other, everything's nice, you've been practicing like that, to dropping that arm at a 45 or a 20-degree angle, and that's going to change your shot a little bit. Maybe not enough to make a huge difference, but it's going to change your shot a little bit. So that changes. You accidentally grab that front, your back wrist is tweaked, this wrist is a little tweaked. You just blew the shot and you shot over the back, or you gut shot it, or you hit it back in the kidneys, and it can all go bad. So You want to make sure everything is exactly the same every time. Just take 5-10 shots a day, but make sure it's exactly the same. I practice all summer and early fall, 3D shooting. I practice here in my yard, and more than trying to shoot, I set my bow at 70 pounds, and I shoot at 70 pre-season all summer and early fall. And then once the season comes in, I crank it down to about 62. And what that does is you break all your muscles in for 70. Once you crank that down to 62 for hunting season, a deer comes in, you can just plop that bow right back like nothing. You can be a lot more comfortable, hold it a lot longer. You can practicing at 70. Makes a big difference, just some few pounds. Let's see what else we could talk about here real quick. I did the front hand. Oh, this back hand, some guys hold it. It depends on what kind of strap you got. The way I like to do it is I like to, when I pull my bow, I'll do from this side. When I pull my bow back, I pull back like this. I keep my finger behind. I get everything aligned. And I just like this hand relaxed and just let it kind of dangle there. I don't try to hold my string like this, because once again, you're using muscles, you're twisting, you're trying to hold that. Some people got the full hand strap and they try to hold it, or just the fingers. Is obviously you pretty much straighten your hand out the whole time, but I like these wrist straps. I just let this backhand relax, let it dangle there, and when you're ready, you just reach up and just squeeze off the shot, just like a gun. It should pretty much cover. Just a few tips, hopefully. Just make sure your structure's the same. Shoot consistent. Don't change. More than trying to shoot a lot, shoot. Practice doing it the same. Train your body. For me, it's pretty much second nature. With some guys, you might have to change the whole way you shoot and get that proper structure, and your accuracy is going to really increase. And make sure your bow is properly tuned. I had a buddy who never knew what paper tuning was. And he was shooting about an 8-inch group at 30-35 yards. I had him come over and paper tune his bow real quick, and in a matter of 5 minutes of tuning his bow, he went from an 8-inch group at 30-35 yards to about a 3-inch group at 30-35 yards. So make sure your bow's properly tuned from the get-go. Make sure it's the right draw length. Make sure you're comfortable pulling whatever your draw weight is. And then just practice. Practice that structure, get that bow back, keep the structure, get that string in the corner of your mouth, touch the tip of your nose to the string, line your peep up, and just let everything relax. And then squeeze your shot out. And remember, when you're up in a tree stand, don't drop that arm. Now you're changing. You've been practicing like this. Don't drop that arm and shoot like this. What you want to do is bend at the hip. Keep that arm with your body at that 90 degrees and bend at the hips. Just like that. You really don't have to take much. Here's a 40-yard shot. Here's a 10-yard shot. You really don't got to bend much. Just bend at the hip. Keep that arm with your body. And that should help you shooting out of a stand. Notice a lot of guys say they always, I was doing it for a while. I was hitting high on my stand shots, shooting out of a tree stand. I was hitting a lot higher than I would shooting at a target or shooting out of a ground blind, until I learned that you bend at the hips, you don't drop your arm. And once I learned that trick, all my shots are pretty much right there. I always hit high for some reason, dropping that arm. It might be, you drop your arm, you might be torquing your wrist up to line that peep up, I don't know. But that will change your shot out of a stand. So that front hand, make sure all your muscles are relaxed. That string to the corner of your mouth, the tip of your nose to the string, and just squeeze that release off nice and easy, just like a gun. And hopefully this will help you out in the woods and help increase your accuracy. Good luck.